Let's begin with the World Trade Center, Tower 1 on 9/11. The rogue U.S. government alleges that a certain Flight 11 hit Tower 1 at 466 miles per hour, carrying 10,000 gallons of jet fuel. You wouldn't expect much to remain after such a violent crash and subsequent demolition of the tower. However, the rogue U.S. government claims that this passport of a purported hijacker survived intact. The rogue U.S. government actually expects you to believe that not a single ID or identifying document from any of the other 91 people allegedly aboard the alleged Flight 11 survived the crash. They claim only this passport from one alleged hijacker survived. In the transcript from the Moussaoui trial at the Virginia.gov website, the rogue U.S. government testified in court that this same passport of alleged hijacker Satam el-Suqami was found in the area of the World Trade Center after the crash by an unnamed person who gave the passport to an unnamed detective who then passed the passport to an unnamed FBI agent. Yes, your own rogue government testified to this BS in a Virginia court. If this doesn't look like a red flag to you, then you are either mentally deficient or brainwashed. Stop falling back on logic such as, my government couldn't do something like this without someone coming forward, and instead look at the fake evidence the government is feeding you. The rogue U.S. government only produced 2 IDs from the alleged Pentagon crash, and big surprise, they both belong to alleged hijackers. Now let's take a look at Flight 93. The rogue U.S. government has testified that a certain Flight 93 hit the ground on 9/11 near Shanksville, Pennsylvania at 563 miles per hour at a 40-degree inverted angle. This alleged crash site left a tiny smoldering pit where many rogue government defenders claim a giant Boeing 757 aircraft disintegrated upon impact. Before we get into the evidence allegedly retrieved there, you should be aware that the FBI stated that nothing at the 93 crash site was found that was inconsistent with the plane going into the ground intact. We designed this approximation using an aerial shot of the alleged 93 crash site from 9/11 and a model of a Boeing 757-200. The 40-foot trench length was the maximum estimate given by the government, with the minimum being 30 feet. We were even generous as far as measurements in favor of the rogue U.S. government story. Furthermore, the Somerset County coroner, Wallace Miller, who was one of the first people on the scene at the alleged 93 crash site, told a newspaper that the interesting thing about the 93 crash was that even 11 months after the crash, he had not seen a single drop of blood. Not a drop. With these statements in mind, let's look at what the rogue U.S. government supposedly did pull out of this smoldering pit. An alleged hijacker passport. An alleged hijacker ID. Another alleged hijacker ID. An alleged hijacker photo. Another alleged hijacker photo. An alleged hijacker business card. An alleged hijacker bandana in excellent condition, which is just ridiculous, by the way. A crew flight log, an in-flight manual, and finally a non-hijacker passenger ID, and one more passenger ID. We couldn't make this garbage up. The U.S. rogue government actually expects you to believe that they found a treasure trove of paper and plastic documents in a tiny pit where an airliner allegedly disintegrated. If you're still not convinced that something very fishy is going on here, you might be the stupidest person on earth. We recommend calling Guinness World Book of Records and having them evaluate you as a record holder for this title. As for the news media personalities taking orders from their compartmentalized management system and defending the U.S. government 9/11 story because their careers are on the line, you are traitors to America and guilty of treason. Come forward now, and the American people may forgive you. If you are an FBI, CIA, NSA, or any other type of government agent, and you know anything about what really happened on 9/11, and you won't come forward for fear of retaliation by your government, you are a traitor to America and guilty of treason. Come forward now, and the American people may forgive you. If there is one decent person left in the rogue U.S. government, your countrymen compel you to come forward and tell the truth. This event is bigger than you and your career. Millions of lives are at stake in countries like Iraq and here at home. You've seen the evil the rogue U.S. government can do, and if given the chance, will do again. No matter what your superiors tell you, there is no justification for the 9/11 attacks, which the rogue U.S. government carried out against its own citizens. Your words can make a difference in the future of America. If at this point you are still nodding in agreement with the rogue U.S. government, you should immediately check yourself in at the nearest psych ward.